brother has taken control, shoveling dirt in every hole.
This is Ferg with SRO Magazine, and we are so privileged to have call-in to the Carson Drive studios today. We have Bumblefoot Thal, the guitar virtuoso, the former Guns N' Roses guitarist. He's got new stuff out, and we are going to talk to him today. Now, how do you want me to address you, Bumblefoot or Ron, or how do you?
You know what? People call me all kinds of wacky things. They call me Mr. Foot. They call me Bumble. They call me Ron. So whatever amuses you, I am cool with.
Well, excellent. We really do at SRO, and me, I'm a big fan. I appreciate you taking the time out to.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
To coming up, because I mean, most people know you as Bumblefoot, the guitar virtuoso, but most people don't. And they don't take a look deeper into to see that you're much more than that. You're a prolific songwriter, and you're a producer for numerous bands, numerous artists, an audio engineer. And dude, I was taking a look at your Wikipedia page, and if the people who listen to this look at your Wikipedia page, it goes on and on and on. It's just the amount of things that you've done, and thank you for doing all that. We appreciate it. But how does it feel to have that much of a volume of work?
Tiring. It's good. I mean, that's why I'm on Earth, to make music. So as long as I'm doing that and putting out things that will outlive me, then I'm happy.
Excellent. That's cool. I like that. I like that phrase on it. Something that'll outlive you, something bigger than yourself. Well, that brings us all. I mean, you've done 8 or 9 solo album EPs in your career, and somewhere right around in there. And that brings us to the little one, the new one, Little Brother Is Watching. And the single is out. You can get it on iTunes right now. I've downloaded it and listened to it a lot. Just tell us a little bit about the new single.
Let's see, I was on a tour bus last summer, driving all around America. I think I was probably somewhere between Montana and on our way to Seattle, and listening to a lot of Iron Maiden, and probably where the main riff came from. And, you know, it's just a song about life that we live in right now. Like, we all live in a time where, you know, it's not Big Brother watching you, it's not the government, you know, spying on you, it's us spying on the government and on each other. We are the spies. We are the ones with the power. We are the ones who do the exposing. You know, we catch the injustice, and we post it for the rest of the world to see. And we catch the good stuff. We catch it all. And it's just a song about that, about living in that world where we are everything. We are the ones being watched. We are the ones doing the watching.
The invasive nature. The invasive nature of our world around us, kind of like a warning, or, I mean, just telling about it.
And also how it affects us, how we react to it. You know, either it's going to put you into a shell where you're going to feel so paranoid about just being yourself because you feel like you always have to be perfect, or you can just go the other direction and say, screw it, and not care, and just live your life and enjoy being human and imperfect as we all are.
Now, is it a political kind of thing, or is it just just looking at the world around you and listening to a lot of Iron Maiden, which you can never go wrong listening to Iron Maiden?
No, and we all need to say a little prayer for Bruce Dickinson, who
absolutely
they just announced about his. Right now, he's dealing with cancer treatments, and we all got to wish him well.
I am a huge Iron Maiden fan and a huge Bruce Dickinson, even when he wasn't with Maiden, always been, and they're one of my, and one of your influences as well.
Oh, sure. Still remember it like it was yesterday, browsing a little place in Staten Island called Our Music Center and seeing the Killers album cover and just looking at the guy at the counter saying, is this good? It's like, yep. And bringing it home, and a half hour later, everything else Iron Maiden had. And got the first album, Maiden Japan had just come out, and played them to death. In fact, that's how I would save up to buy guitars, is I would paint. I would paint Iron Maiden albums on the backs of dungaree jackets for $20 each as a kid, and that's how I saved up to buy my gear.
Oh, how cool. I would have paid you. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd loved Iron Maiden. They were always... I mean, listening to that, because the new stuff on Little Brother is watching, especially the Little Brother watching the first single. I mean, I think it's very poetic in that kind of a way, but is the rest of it kind of in that same vein, the rest of the album? I know Klotz is it's more rock and roll, or that southern rock with a little bit of edge. I was watching the stuff on YouTube. How does the album go from there, from the title track, Little Brother is Watching?
I think it kind of stays in the same ballpark, where it's rock, but it's melodic. And I think my older albums were a little punkier, and this one has a little more space, a little more melody going on, and has a little more inner peace than some of the other ones that I've done. Definitely the most melodic, and a whole lot of guitar going on. Is just constant guitar melodies going throughout, bouncing around the vocals,
and the whole album comes out, I mean, quickly on February 24th, right?
Yeah, coming out soon. In fact, I just got from the manufacturer, I just got a bunch of them, and I've been signing albums to send to the merch dudes. The first 200 albums, I'm going to sign them. Very cool. So, yeah.
That's something cool for everybody. Okay, everybody asks you this, and it's one of those questions. I know it's kind of like saying which kid is your favorite, but do you have a song on there that you like to listen to?
There's a lot of different ones for different reasons. I guess you like your different kids for different reasons.
I guess so sometimes,
this one's smart, this one's good at sports. But you love them all. That sounds terrible, loving kids for different reasons. That's just wrong.
But no, I understand exactly what you like the kid. You don't love the kid. You love them all. But that kid, especially, you have that bond with them because of sports or athletics or whatever. And that's what you're saying about the song. Right. That's the bond you have. The special bond. You have the bond of creating it all, but
Right. So each song has something, like the song Cuta Libra. The lyrics to that, I love just the words I came up with for it. It's a very unusual song. It's about gossip, but it compares the life cycle of gossip to the life cycle of a parasitic fly that lays its eggs in you and then eventually burrows out and gets wings, and and just the way it all came together. Because that one I was writing as I was wandering around the back stairways of a hotel in Buenos Aires and just writing anything that happened. And so it ended up just...
How very cool.
Very different. Very different. What else? What other songs on there? Let's see. Living the Dream, lyrically. I think it tells what it's like to be on tour very well. The words, I miss my father and the dog I had at 17. I start to let it go somewhere at 30,000 feet. Take off as who I am and land as who I need to be. I'm living the dream.
Wow.
That kind of stuff. Like I think I just found the right words that were very personal and honest and telling. And I think I did a better job telling stories on this album than on previous ones.
That was awesome. That really was. I do dig your lyrics, and I like the way your phraseology and how you put them together. And I mean, you in this last album, I mean, you wrote it, produced it, mixed it, mastered it in your own studio in New Jersey, right?
Right.
How is it to wear that many hats? And do you have other people that come in and go, "Hey, dude, we need to do, what about this, or things like that, or do you bring in that other input?
Always, if someone has an idea, I consider it, absolutely. But see, that's the thing, is that if I only played guitar on it, I wouldn't be doing what I do. Because I'm a songwriter and I sing and I produce and I engineer and I do all these things. And if I'm going to do an album where I'm really giving myself, I have to give all those things. Otherwise, I'm not giving everything that I have to give. And to me, that's not what you do. Like, you have to give absolutely everything you are if you're going to make music for somebody. You have to give them every bit of you. Mm-hmm. And if I only played guitar, then I would have a singer and someone else would be engineering and playing someone else's songs. And I've done that, with other bands. But for something that, if it's going to be a Bumblefoot album, that's it's got to be everything that I can give.
Now, do you like having that control, or is it, and as you said, it allows you to immerse yourself, and it's that whole creative process. So you not only create the guitars, you get that creative process in the bass, and it's from beginning to end, and you get to take it and nurture it and go back and look at it and separate it. And is that the beauty that you like, and do you consider it an art form when you're creating?
Oh yeah, I mean, you feel so alive. It's when I feel the most, I don't know what the right words are without getting all hippie-ish, but you just feel the most connected to the universe. Like, you feel like everything is right. You feel so connected. You really do. You feel like you're channeling things that aren't just from you. Being creative, being in the studio is the most wonderful place to be, the most wonderful feeling. And I don't know if it's so much of a control thing, because I love collaborating and I love working with people and exchanging the ideas and building something greater than what you can get from one person. But for me, when I'm doing my own album, it's more about just expressing as much of yourself as possible. So I think it's more about that.
Okay. Well, you spend, you must love the studio, because you spend a lot of time in there, and you always have, like I said, if you look through your discography, it's quite, it's impressive. And not only do you have Little Brothers Watching coming out just around the corner, February 24th, you've also got Art of Anarchy coming out. Is that still coming out sometime 2015? Do we have a definite date on it?
Like probably May.
All right.
So the plan is May for that one. And that's an interesting album. That one has been in the works since 2011, and that's when we started recording it.
Wow.
So it's been a long, slow brewing thing that really came together nicely. It started off with these two brothers, John and Vince, that I produced all their bands since they were teenagers, like 18 years now. And they started a company. They wanted their first thing to be a supergroup album. And it's something I can't wait for people to hear it.
How is it to work with, both John and that's John and Vince Vaughta, and Scott Weiland and John Moyer? How was it to work with all of those guys? And I think, was it John who said that the record that you guys did is the record he always dreamed about doing?
Yeah, that was his ultimate goal in the beginning. He said, I want to make my dream album. It's like, well, bring in the gear, let's do it. Everybody was great. Working with those guys, that's something we've been doing forever, so that was just normal.
Just a day in the office. Just a day in the office.
Yeah, just living it. And then Moyer came and stayed at the studio for for a couple of days and banged out the bass. Just such a solid bass player. You know, he really
is.
He's fantastic.
I like him. I'm a bass player, so I always focus towards the bass players. But I'm a big fan of John's. I always have been.
Yeah.
Did you now this new one? Did you do a lot of? I know you produced and engineered it, but did you do it in your studio as well?
Yeah, the whole thing in my studio, except for Scott, recorded his own vocals at his place. So he wrote his own stuff, and then they would send it to me, and I would put it into the multi-tracks.
Okay. Well, man, I've taken up a lot of your time. I appreciate it for you talking to SRO. I've got just a couple of more because you're a busy guy. I mean, you've got all the stuff, the new album coming out the 24th. You've got the Art of Anarchy album coming out. You've got a rock science app that you can go on iTunes and get that, and coming to the Google Play. You've also got your own line of signature guitar cases and Bumble Babes guitar cases for the chicks, and I think that's really cool.
Nice. Oh, and then also, besides Art of Anarchy, I've been working with the metal band Generation Kill, who themselves have been working with Daryl McDaniel, DMC from Run DMC, and they have this rap metal thing that they're doing, and the singer of Generation Kill, Rob Dukes, formerly of Exodus, and I've known him for years. We've been friends a long time. Great dude. And he told me about it, and they were looking for someone to do the mixing and producing for that. So now I'm involved with that, doing the mixing and adding some guitar parts, and we got one song done so far called Lot Lizard. It's a real nasty, skanky song. It's good.
I'm going to have to go check that out. I'll give those guys, I want to hear that. So we got that. Now, let me just ask you, how long has it taken you to grow that beard? When did you start growing the beard?
It's been about 4 years now.
And
4 years of beard.
Did you write the opening theme for that metal show?
Yes.
How did that come about? If you take just a couple seconds and tell us.
Yeah, so they were looking for a theme song, and I was going to write something, and then what I did was I just sent them a bunch of music and said, tell you what, before I write something fresh for this, take a look at some of my songs and see if any of them would work. And if you like one of those, great, I can give you an instrumental mix of it. And if not, we'll write something fresh. And it turns out one of my songs they liked, a song called Day to Remember. And that is that's the theme.
That's very cool. And that was actually a question that when somebody found out that I was going to be talking to you, they said, hey, ask him how that happened. So I wanted to make sure I asked that. Sir, thank you so much for talking to SRO Magazine and, of course, Ferg. If there's anything I can do with you, and I mean, if you've got any of your projects and they want to talk to somebody, hey, you can always talk to Ferg. We'll get him on here, and we'll talk to him. And anything you need, just, you know where to go. Go to SRO. All right?
Thank you so much. It was great chatting with you.
Hey, thank you, and you have a wonderful day, and keep rocking, buddy.
You too. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye. That's Bumblefoot. His new single and CD are called Little Brother Is Watching. It's a great listen. It rocks. Pick it up now. And for all your music and entertainment news, you know where to go. Go to SRO. And I am Ferg, your humble correspondent. Follow me on Twitter at FergSROMag. And if you need to get hold of me, email me at FergusonMusicNews@gmail.com.
For more information on all the greatest bands in rock today, and for all your music and entertainment news, you know where to go. Go to SRO. That's SROMagInc.com. SRO Magazine is sponsored by Kick-Ass Cables, PhDRadio.com, Robert's Guitar, TDLMusicGroup.com. The SRO audio and video was done by Carson Drive Studios and SROMagInc.com.